There have been continuous fire accidents in China as the new year approaches. On the morning of December 20th, a fire broke out in an industrial park in Xinzheng, Henan, accompanied by explosion sounds. On December 19th, a factory in Zhuhai caught fire and explosion sounds were heard at the site. On the morning of December 20th, a chemical plant in Quanzhou, Fujian, caught fire, resulting in injuries.
There's a fire. The general manager's office asked us to evacuate. Evacuate quickly.
A Chinese citizen sarcastically commented on the Chinese Communist Party's or CCP's concealment of disaster events. In China, you can escape from fire, floods, earthquakes, and mining disasters, but you can never escape the government's information blockade. For people around the world, natural disasters are ruthless. However, for the Chinese people, the red disaster is more fierce than water and fire. The Chinese government should have the duty to manage natural disasters, but instead use its power to hide the truth of these calamities. Recently, several fire and explosion incidents have occurred in China, with little information about their causes and aftermath due to the CCP's concealment. The incidents occurred in Jiangsu's Liangyungang and Beijing. On December 8th, an underground heating pipeline in Liangyungang, Jiangsu province burst. The video footage shows the incident happened without any warning. Before the pipeline burst, the streets were filled with cars and buses operating normally. Suddenly, the heating pipeline exploded and a black hot fluid burst out like a fountain, covering nearby stores and vehicles and causing significant economic losses. Mr. Lee recalled that he was busy in his shop when he heard a loud bang. Then he saw the ground crack open and a high-pressure water column shoot out, shattering all the shop windows. He ran outside to safety and upon looking back, saw his shop covered in black filth and debris, completely unrecognizable. Everything in his store was destroyed, leaving him with a debt of 300,000 yuan. He's now uncertain about how to maintain a living. Similar devastation was evident throughout the street, with many shop owners facing catastrophic losses. Another young shop owner near the site revealed that the explosion sounded like a building collapsing. He ran outside to find a crack in the middle of the road with black steam rising from underground. The scattered stones on the road indicated a recent explosion.
Yes, I was scared. My heart is still pounding. It exploded while I was in the house. I thought the building had collapsed. Stones were flying everywhere. The area is now under construction. There's some damage to vehicles, no casualties, but economic losses are evident.
After the incident, the media contacted the 12345 government service hotline to inquire about the cause and outcome of the event. However, the government's customer service representative stated, "This is a private matter and cannot be disclosed at this time." This response, once exposed online, sparked heated discussions. Netizens found the government representative's reply on the phone baffling. A pipeline explosion is a public event and should not be classified as private. As a country governed by law, relevant departments should ensure the citizens' right to be informed with timely and accurate information, instead of using privacy as an excuse to hide and cover up the truth of the incident. Some netizens criticize the government's arrogant attitude, refusing to provide any real information under the guise of excuses. One netizen said, "Is this the government's attitude towards its people? Do they think they can easily fool us?" Many people commented on Chinese social media platforms and forums. Such a major accident requires the government to step forward and explain, or it loses all credibility. They don't even tell us the basic cause of the accident. How can we live with such an irresponsible government? Even if the pipeline explosion was an accident, the government must ensure the safety of underground facilities. Now they should make the construction party pay for the damages, but instead they pass the burden onto the people. How can we tolerate this? Regarding the government's representative's response, a mainland media commentator stated that the government and relevant departments have a responsibility to be accountable to the public and proactively disclose the cause of the incident and the response plan. The commentator added, In emergencies, transparency is the bridge to build trust, and asymmetry of information only breed rumors. The government's evasion and evading responsibility in the face of the accident and the call for merchants to bear their losses have further diminished its credibility. The shop owners and car owners who suffered economic losses in the accident are innocent and should not have to pay for the government's poor management. Mainland news commentator Liu Xuesong said that the public impact of this accident is significant, despite it not being a major incident. In a video, he stated,
"The Lianyungang incident in Jiangsu was not big, but the official response was too arrogant. The government staff in Jiangxi said it was a privacy issue and couldn't be disclosed. This response caused a public outcry. It mystifies the cause of a public incident, tramples on the public's right to know, and conforms to the power, making people wonder if there are unspeakable secrets underground. Could it involve multiple departments or hide more explosive issues? Where is our sense of security? Of course, it's possible the staff member was genuinely uninformed, misspoke, or is accustomed to being dismissive. However, classifying unwillingness to disclose information as privacy directly reflects the arrogance and indifference of the governmental departments, showing a very low level of public service. So in a city, not just anyone should be sitting at the window of service, as those at the window often represent the image and quality."
Due to the ongoing online discussions, on December 10th, a mainland media reporter again contacted the 12345 hotline. A person claiming to be a team leader stated that the previous privacy response was from an intern in the government department, who, due to lack of experience, made a mistake and caused confusion. The team leader explained the operator's reply was not meant to suggest that the pipeline explosion could not be disclosed, but rather to indicate that the issue raised by the caller, reported by netizens, was thought to involve the privacy of a citizen. The response was not about the pipeline explosion per se. The team leader added that the operator was new and still an intern, lacking sufficient experience and understanding of the procedures, which led to an inappropriate response. The 12345 hotline has apologized and has been following up on the issue, promising to optimize their workflow and improve operators' service capabilities. Under public pressure, media interviews with related government departments in Lianyungang's Haizhou district revealed a preliminary assessment. The accident was caused by aging pipelines and excessive steam pressure during testing, resulting in the explosion. The incident damaged the storefronts of 4 businesses, 10 cars, and 2 electric vehicles, with no casualties reported. To minimize the impact of the incident, government departments arranged for community staff to console affected business owners and negotiate compensation and cleaning arrangements. The Lianyungang pipeline explosion incident was partially resolved under public pressure. However, fires in some sensitive areas are not so fortunate and are more thoroughly suppressed by the CCP, leaving the Chinese people without even the opportunity for online advocacy. In the early morning of December 10th, a major fire broke out near a gas station on New Street in Xinzheng district, Beijing. Due to the sensitive location of the incident, news of the fire was completely censored on Chinese social media, with only a few videos circulating on overseas video platforms. These videos show flames soaring and thick smoke billowing from the rear of a gas station and many fire trucks with flashing lights visible. The footage suggests the filmmaker was not near the fire scene, but could still observe the severity of the blaze. An overseas journalist confirmed that the fire occurred at a gas station near the intersection of Youanmene Street. At least 2 buildings, approximately 5 to 6 stories tall, were completely burnt down. The journalist contacted Liu Yan, a victim of the fire, who confirmed that it was the residential building she lives in that caught fire. Liu Yan said, "The fire was in my building. I'm currently moving things out of my house and grabbing some necessities. The fire broke out around 1 a.m. on December 10th, and many fire trucks arrived at the scene. We, the affected residents, were arranged to stay in a hotel around 5 a.m. The building that caught fire is currently undergoing waterproofing construction." Many netizens expressed dissatisfaction with the CCP's suppression of news about the Xinzheng district fire in Beijing. One netizen said, "The fire happened right at my doorstep, and I can't even post a video of it. It's baffling. Another netizen analyzed that the sensitivity of the fire's news is due to its location on New Street. New Street in the southern part of Xinzheng district, Beijing, runs north and south from Tiananmen Nei Street to Nanheng Street and is the largest Hui community in Beijing. It gained fame from the New Jie Mosque and became an important window for the CCP to showcase its ethnic policy after 1949, often visited by CCP leaders. Its geographical location is sensitive, being only 6 kilometers away from Zhongnanhai and closer to Tiananmen Square, making it a vital area for the CCP. Many were forced to share their opinions on overseas social media platforms. Such a big fire in Beijing proves the lag in management level. The awareness of risk prevention is far from what the propaganda slogans claim, and that the safety system mechanism can't keep up with the speed of disaster. This is another tragic case under an obsolete system. It's a pity it's not Zhongnanhai. Smoke and gunfire everywhere, both inside and outside the wall. Is this the start of a white paper revolution 2.0? Independent writer Zhuge Mingyang believes that a fire in a city building is normal, but the CCP's news blockade suggests otherwise. A close look at the CCP's history of cover-ups reveals that they use suppression and concealment for news closely related to them or potentially subversive to their power. From the COVID-19 pandemic to the cause of a fire, China under the CCP is constantly playing games of blockade and manipulation. Beijing has experienced several fires in the past, but their news was almost entirely suppressed. In 2017, 2 fires occurred, one in Liqiao town of Fujian district and the other in Xinzheng village, Xihongmen town, Daxing district. The latter resulted in 19 deaths and 8 injuries. The causes, processes, and aftermath of these fires were concealed by the CCP. Following these incidents, the CCP initiated a laughable campaign to clean up the low-end population in Beijing, ordering a comprehensive inspection and rectification of safety hazards focused on fire safety with blanket checks in every district. Essentially, it was a house-to-house clearance of the low-end population. Cai Qi, the first-ranked secretary of the Secretariat of the CCP, even made a controversial statement. At the grassroots, it's real knives and real guns. It's about being tough. In summary, ordinary people were seen as the enemy who could be driven away at any moment and blamed for the fires in Beijing. In this campaign, tens of thousands labeled as low-end population were evicted from their homes in the cold and driven out of Beijing. Commentators pointed out that the so-called cleaning up the low-end population was not the real intention of the CCP's upper echelons. It was a superficial excuse to purge dissenting officials, allowing some CCP leaders to firmly grasp power. In the 2017 Daxing fire, Daxing District Chief Cui Zhicheng was dismissed. Vice District Chief Du Zuyong, responsible for safety, was suspended and investigated, and Zheng Yajun, party secretary of Xihongmen town, and town mayor Xi Wentao were suspended. A total of 21 party and government officials in Daxing district were disciplined. The homeless, labeled as the low-end population, were merely sacrificial pawns in the CCP's internal power struggles. The Urumqi fire during the COVID-19 pandemic is another example of the CCP's information blockade. Discontent with the CCP's secretive handling of the Urumqi fire sparked the white paper revolution in China, which was ultimately suppressed by the CCP's iron fist. Jia Rulin, who personally experienced the Shanghai lockdown and white paper movement, says that in China, sensitive issues are often communicated through word of mouth. He states, "Because China's internet is blocked, people inside China rarely know the truth about certain things, unless you can bypass internet restrictions. But even if you do and learn the truth, the CCP can convict you for bypassing the firewall. As long as the CCP exists, Chinese people have no freedom."